Here is the Hungarian March by Hector Berlioz. Now, I recorded myself because I wanted to demonstrate one of the most important ways that you can prepare excerpts is by recording yourself. And when you listen back, scrutinize every detail. Make sure all the notes are in the right place, there aren't any missed notes, make sure your time is good, check your intonation, every feature you can think of. In fact, one thing you might do is focus on different features during different playings in the practice room. So one time your focus may be on rhythm, and the next time maybe it's on intonation. Obviously, ultimately you've got to put it all together and give the best performance you possibly can. I'm going to play this back and give you a few of my observations about my own playing. Okay, so right away I can tell you I might have taken just a little bit too long to breathe, so that the notes that come after the breath may have been just a little bit late. Didn't really like the quality of that low F. It kind of got away from me. It splatted, which is a real problem in playing this excerpt. And I do think the style was pretty good. I like the shortness and the bounciness of the notes in this excerpt, and I thought the intonation was pretty good. There are a couple of things in this particular excerpt that I would look out for as far as the intonation. When you do this run, you got to go down to that D and then the C sharp. That's a real trap. I've had a lot of students play those notes really quite out of tune, and then coming off of those notes you have to come up to second position for E. That's another trap. Oftentimes we don't get all the way up to second, we get kind of to flat second, and so the E tends to ride a little bit low. One of the ways that you can fix that issue is to play the piece with a tuner up on the stand, and then play right up to that E and stop and hold it. That way you get the E in context, which is really, really important. Back to the larger issue of preparing excerpts, which is what this video is about. When I say record, I mean record every day, and record numerous times, because just one time doesn't really give you what your pattern is, what your consistent problems might be. So go ahead and record several times, and then when you're listening back, take a few notes. And if you find that that E is flat every time you play this excerpt, well, now you've got a pattern that you can focus on fixing. Some other very important considerations when you are preparing excerpts: you absolutely must listen to the piece in its entirety with the entire orchestra, and in fact I recommend you do this while watching a score. An excerpt is just that. It's just an excerpted part of a larger work, and you must understand how your part fits in with the rest of the orchestra. Stylistically, it's important to understand how loud or soft to play because of the piece's place in history. Now, if you have the Hungarian March, like I just played, alongside the Ride of the Valkyries on an audition, you want to differentiate the style. The Berlioz is light and bouncy, And the Wagner, the Ride of the Valkyries, is big and fat and sort of in your face. So you want to make a big difference stylistically. And a good way to do that is take it easy on the Berlioz. Don't punch it as hard as you can, because you need to save something for the Wagner. So you need to make sure that everything has its place in proportion to its neighbor and the other works on the audition. One other thing you might want to look out for is what I call the big three: tone, intonation, and rhythm. Those three musical attributes. If those three things are not spot on and really, really solid, then nothing else matters. So you must have a good tone, you must be in tune, and you have to play in time, rhythmically. Now, that's not to deny the importance of vibrato or musicality. Obviously, you need all those things as well. However, if your tone is poor and fuzzy, well then it really doesn't matter if you have a nice, vibrato, because the core, the actual sound of the note is par. So these three things you must work on every day. They're part of your fundamental skill set, and they have to be there for you before you even approach the excerpts.